Hello everyone. Credo is having their fall friends and family sale, and this gives every single person 20% off of everything on the Credo site. And so Credo is a self-described clean beauty retailer, and so they do have a number of makeup brands that I like quite a lot. And so those include Westman Atelier and Ilia and Kosas and Rituel de Fille and Tower 28 and RMS and Beauty and also some others. And then there are quite a lot of good skincare products and hair care products there as well. And so some of the brands that they have include Alpyn Beauty and the Outset and Necessaire and St. Jane and True Botanicals and Innersense and also Lolavie. And so this is an especially good sale for people who do not qualify for the 20% off from the Sephora sale. And it's also a good sale for people that would like to get started in terms of their holiday shopping and to buy some things before they sell out. And I have tried an awfully lot of products through Credo, and so I do have a lot of opinions on the products that they offer. And so in this video, I thought that I would go through the brands that I have paid the most attention to at Credo, and I will let you know what all of my assessments for all of the products that I've tried have been, and so you can figure out which products may not be the best ones, or at least that I haven't found have been the best ones. And then I will also pick out the 50 products from Credo that I have enjoyed the most, and I will talk about those in a little bit more detail. And to my understanding, the Credo sale will continue until at least Monday, October 27th. And so first, a little bit of information about me. I am 61 years old, and I have dry and very sensitive skin, and I've never had any kind of cosmetic procedures like injections or surgery, and so my hope is to find products that can help me to look a little bit healthier and a little bit fresher without causing any irritation to my own very sensitive skin. And one thing that I have found is that there are certain ingredients that always do irritate my sensitive skin, and I know that those ingredients tend to be very irritating for many other people as well, and so I just don't talk about products with those ingredients on this channel. And with regard to skincare, I have recently decided that I have given up on the idea of using any kind of skincare that has any kind of fragrance ingredients in it, even if it is natural scents. I do think that I do a lot better with unscented ingredients, and so therefore I think that my skin has been in much better shape since I have been doing that. And so that is mostly the kind of skincare that I talk about on this channel. And so before we get started, I thought that I would mention my Facebook group, and that is called 40 Plus Beauty with Lisa Petrison, and so I hope you will join me on Facebook. And so let's go in alphabetical order. And so the first brand on the list is Alpyn Beauty. And this is a product line that I feel like I've done really, really well with. A few of their products do have natural scents in them, but there are a number of products now that do not have any kind of scent in them at all. And I feel like I've done really well with those particular products. And so one of my favorite 50 products is the Barrier Repair Cream. And so this is called Super Peptide and Ghostberry, and I do feel like as barrier creams go, I think that this one may be my favorite, or it's one of my favorite that is on the market. It is a fairly thick cream, and it is pretty rich, and I do feel like my skin likes this quite a lot, and it does have some peptides in it and some other kinds of special ingredients that my skin really does like. And so I have purchased a couple of jars of this, and then they have given me a couple of jars. And this product is on sale during the Credo sale for $49.60. Then there are a few other products from Alpyn Beauty that I have really liked. And so one of these is the Super Sculpt Serum for face and neck. And I have recently been trying this one out. This is my first container of this one. And I do think it's very nice. It's a little bit more like a gel than some of their other products. And it says that it has peptides and chokeberry in it. And I do think that my skin has been doing fine with that. Another serum that I have used from them and that I've used a few different bottles of it up is the Hydrating Firming Serum with niacinamide and nettle. And so that is one of those serums that I do tend to mix with my moisturizers and to apply, and I do think that my skin is like that one. And then they also have a line filling eye balm, and that one I do like quite a lot also. That one does have both bakuchiol in it and also caffeine, and so I do feel like it's depuffing and it doesn't have any kind of a scent in it, and I feel like my eyes have liked that one quite a lot. Exa is the house brand for Credo, and I have tried a number of different products from them, and I feel like I really haven't done very well with most of those products at all, and so I just thought I would show you my grade sheet for that, because that is a product that you can only get at Credo, and I have tried a lot of them. Gen C is a brand that is sold, I believe, just at Credo and on the Gen C website, and all of their products are made in Italy, but they are fairly reasonably priced, and I have tried pretty much all of the products that they are offering so far, and so I did never actually review this brand on my channel, and so for this video I just shot some video footage of me putting on a few of the products so that you can take a look at them if you're interested. The products that I have really liked from them, they did, I have purchased almost all of these, but they did give me 4 of their eyeshadows, and so I did get a chance to try those on, and I've used them a few times in the past. And so I have 2 matte shades, and then I have 2 shimmer shades that I am trying on in the video footage. And I think that the matte shades went on very nicely and that they stay on pretty nicely, and I think that they are a little bit similar to the Makeup by Mario eyeshadows that came out recently that are mattes and that are kind of neutral. I felt like one time when I tried this on that it was really mildly irritating to my eyes for a little while after I put it on, and then that kind of went away. So I would be willing to wear these again. And I think that the matte ones are kind of nice, and I think that the shimmer ones are pretty nice too. I don't feel like, though, that it's a good idea to put them on top of the mattes as I did in this video footage. I have found yesterday when I did that they wore off really fast and that the mattes remained, but when I have put those shimmer shades directly on my eyelids, then those did stay in place a bit longer. And I do think that they are pretty, and so I can see why they are promoting those eyeshadows so hard, and there is the opportunity to get a little kit of these like I did with 4 different shades in it, I think, on the Credo website. And so I do like these, and I don't think that they are so irritating that I can't wear them, but I don't think that they are probably the cleanest thing at Sephora either, because they do last for a long time. And I put some on my hand yesterday, and I never actually removed it with makeup remover, but it stayed on my hand for like 24 hours, and it also stayed on my hand, on my eyes for quite a long time also. And so if you're looking for something that does stay in place, this could possibly be a good product. I also have from them a couple of pencils. So I have an eye pencil and I have a lip pencil, and I think that both of those have been very nice, and they have been certainly acceptable quality, and I think that the price is pretty good. And then I also have a blush stick, and so this is, I think, a fairly nice blush stick compared to many of the other ones out there. I feel like it performs a lot like the Polite Pops from Polite Society, and those are sold in Ulta, and so I have several of those, and I have really liked them. And I think that this is the same kind of formula in that it looks like it should be a cream, but when it goes on the skin, it performs much more like a powder blush. And I think that for travel purposes especially, having a stick product that performs like a powder can be a lot better than bringing along a powder with you. And then there also is another blush product which is called the Clean Sheen Cheek Color, and I think that this one has been okay. I think that this product is a little bit older, and it may be more than a year old, and it seemed a little bit dried out, so that would be my concern with regard to this product, is that you might expect it to dry out, but I do think that it's a pretty color. The color that I have is Lychee, and I thought that that is an acceptable blush also. and one that I can make work. And there's a mascara, and it is called the Spectator Sport Mascara. And the unusual thing about this mascara is that it is a brown mascara, but it is available in a mini. And so if you want to try it, it is only $14 minus the 20% discount. And so trying this out would be not very much money for a brown mascara. This is a mascara that's a little bit more like a paste, in my opinion, and so it goes on pretty thick. And I think that it performed reasonably well, and it wasn't irritating to my eyes. And then there is a brow pomade, and this is called Arch Support Brow Sculpt Pomade, and I have this in a color that I think it was not bad for my eyebrows. I tend to need a taupe shade, and I think it was okay, but I certainly don't think it's as good as some of the other brow products that I have tried, and so I probably won't be using this one. I think that maybe if you have more brows than I do, though, if your goal is that you have a fairly heavy brow but that you want to darken it a little bit, then this one might be all right. And the product that I felt like was a little bit problematic for me is the lipstick. Now, I did really like the way that this lipstick looked on my lips, and I thought that it went on really nice and that it behaved really well. I have a shade that is called Naomi, which is like a brick red with some brown in it, and I thought that that color was really pretty on my lips and that it went well with the cognac lip pencil that I had also picked up. I do feel like it had a taste in it that I found to be somewhat unpleasant and kind of chemically, and it doesn't have any flavor in it. They didn't add any flavor to it, but I felt like after I wore this for a while that I had kind of an odd taste in my mouth, and so I wasn't real crazy about that. But other than that, I thought that this lipstick was fine. I do think that it's better if I put a little bit of gloss over the top of it because it is a fairly matte lipstick. But I feel like if I put gloss over the top of it, it performed nicely. I just did not like that taste. And then there are a couple of products from them that I haven't tried, and the newest one is the Seriously Jelly Lip Color, and I have heard a couple of people say good things about that, and so I would be a little bit interested in picking that up. Now, Goop is a company that has in the past released a lot of skincare products, and I found those skincare products to be kind of expensive and slightly irritating in a lot of cases, and so I haven't actually used those or repurchased any of those. But there is one makeup product that they released about a year ago or so, and this is called the Color Blur Glow Balm, and it is $34. And so during the sale, these are $27.20. And I think that for a product that is this size, which has a lot of product in it, that's not a bad price at all. And so this is a fairly soft blush balm, and these are soft colors, and so they're a little bit like the Jones Road Miracle Balm in that you can stick your fingers into them, and they do give just a little bit of a shine to the cheeks, but they don't have any scent in them, and they're more like a blush rather than a highlighter. And so I have liked these a lot, and so I have two colors of them, and so one is called Whiskey that I have, and I did put some of this on my cheeks today, and I do really like the way that this looks, and I use it pretty often on days that I'm not wearing any other kind of foundation or anything like that. And then the other product that I have is called Slipper, and this one is a peach color, and then there are, I think, 3 more shades that I also think are really appealing. And so that is one of my favorite 50 products. And this year they have a new water cream that I would be a little bit interested in because it doesn't seem to have any fragrance ingredients. And so this is called the 72-Hour Supercharged Water Cream. And then there are a few other newer makeup products that Goop has released and that I have been thinking about trying but that I haven't actually picked up. And so I think during the sale I need to take a closer look at all of those products and see if any of them do seem to have potential. Now, Ilia sells through Credo, but they do not sell all of their products through Credo. And so several of the products that I actually like the most that are being sold at Sephora are not at Credo. So these include the base face milk that I do really, really like as a primer type of a product. And their eye stylus eye pencils are not at Credo. And also they have a new palette that is a blush and bronzer and highlight palette that is available on the Ilia website and at Sephora, and I don't see that one at Credo either. But there are several products from Ilia that are being sold at Credo that are among my top 50 products. And so one of these is a barrier cream. And so this one is called the Barrier Build Skin Protectant Cream. And so this is on sale for $51.20. And so I have really, really liked this one also. I do think that it feels especially clean to me. And I think that this is one that I use kind of interchangeably with that one from Alpyn Beauty. And I think that this is a very, very good product that I've really enjoyed. And I have used all this product in this container, and I would be interested in buying some more. Ilia also came out with a line of blushes, and so these are called the Soft Focus Blurring Blushes, and they are on sale for $28.80. And so I picked up one that is called Glimpse, and I think that this is a really attractive shade, and I think that especially for people who have very, very light skin, that this is a really, really good product. And I would be interested in picking up a few more blushes, but I'm not sure that the ones that are really light, that they would look all that much different. But I will say that I have really, really enjoyed this particular product. I think the formula is really good. And when I'm looking for just a really, really muted blush that still makes me look a little bit more alive, I think that this one is very nice. And then there's a mascara formula that is called Limitless Lash Mascara, and I do like this one quite a lot. It's been on the market for quite a long period of time, but every time I use this formula, I do find that it still works really well for me, and they have come out with a brown shade, and so I did pick this one up in brown, and I do want to do a mascara video with brown mascaras sometime soon. And this is $23.20 during the sale. And then a few more products from Ilia that I also like. I like their lip sketch products, and these are lip pencils, but they can be used as lip crayons. I think that they don't really hold on to my lips for a long enough period of time I do use them as lip crayons. But if I put them on as a base for a lipstick, or if I put them on as a base for a gloss, I think that they are very nice. And they do come in a lot of pretty colors. And there is a duo that is available that is called the Mini Lip Sketch Duo, which has 2 lipsticks and a sharpener in the mini versions, and I think that that looks very nice, and that would be $20 during the sale. And then there is a cleanser that is a foam cleanser, and that is very nice and light and non-irritating cleanser, and I am very picky about cleansers, and I think that as a summertime cleanser for me, that one is very nice and not too expensive. And I think if you don't have skin that is as dry as mine, or you're looking for a foamy cleanser for the winter, I think that that one would be good. But I do highly recommend that product as well. And there's an eyebrow pencil that I do really like, and that I think as regular old eyebrow pencils go, that is pretty good. That is called the Inful Micro Tip Brow Pencil. And then there are a few other products that I think are also okay. Indie Lee is a skincare company, and I haven't tried too many products from them, but they do make a squalane facial oil that I do really like, and that is regularly priced at $38. And I do think that as we go into the wintertime months, that having some kind of an oil that is like squalane can be a good thing to be adding to products that you may have already, or to put straight on your skin. But I usually just mix that into products that I want to make a little bit more moisturizing. Innersense is a hair care brand that is sold at Credo, and so the products from them that I use fairly regularly are their hydrating hair bath and their hydrating conditioner, and I do tend to rotate through my hair shampoo and conditioner products, and those are ones that I do think have been good for my hair. And then they have a whole bunch of different kinds of styling products, and I've tried a variety of those, and the ones that I tend to use the most are the Sweet Spirit Leave-In Conditioner and the Inner Peace Whipped Cream Texturizer, but there are a lot of other products that they have available, and so regardless of what kind of hair products you tend to do well with, they may have some products that are interesting to you. And then there is a purple shampoo and conditioner that I actually am interested in, and so I think it might be good for me to try that during the sale, and this is called Bright Balance Purple Toning Hair Bath and Conditioner. And these products do have a scent in them, but it is a natural scent, and I do find it to be okay for me. Iris and Romeo is another brand that is sold at Credo, and so I have tried a number of different products from them. The one that I think I've liked the best is called the Best Skin Days Concealer, and I did try this out in the concealer video that I did about a year ago or so at the end of last year, and I don't feel like this is my absolute favorite concealer. I do feel like I've really been liking the Say concealer and the RMS concealer, but this one has not been too bad, and I do think this one is usable by me. And then the other product that I have been using a little bit over the past couple days is called the Power Peptide Lip Balm, and I think that this has not felt too bad on my lips. This one is a bit of a bright color. I think I would like something to just wear as like a lip mask to go to bed, and so I think I would pick out one that was a really muted shade, but I think that it does feel good for my lips, and I think that it has that peptides in it, and so that could be a good thing too. Other products of theirs that I have tried and that I haven't felt like I've done all that well with are the brow gel, and so this is one that I feel like it's kind of not working very well on my very sparse brows. It might work better for people that have thicker brows, and I think that their mascara is one that has not really worked all that well for me, and that doesn't hold up all that well for me. And they do tend to put fragrance in a lot of their products, and so this blush stick, which is sort of just like an ordinary blush stick, this one does have a scent in it, like essential oils, and this is a product that I tend to put directly on my skin, and I did find this to be slightly irritating. And they have a foundation that comes in a container that you dip your fingers into it, and that is a very, very thick product, and I do feel like it emphasized my wrinkles quite a bit, and so I wouldn't wear it for that reason. And it also has some essential oils and things in it, and I do feel like that was irritating as well. And in looking at the other products that they offer, the newest product that I was thinking about picking up possibly is the Skin Cocoon Barrier Glow Serum, and that is $58, and it does not have any fragrance ingredients in it, and so possibly that might work for me. I would kind of like to have a sample before I actually spring for it, though. Now, Kosas is a brand that I've been using for a long time, and I've tried pretty much everything that they offer. And some of the products do have chemical sunscreens in them, sunscreen boosters, or they may have natural fragrance in them that is irritating for me. And not all of the products perform as well as others, but some of these products are really, really terrific, and so I am really enthusiastic about those. And so some of the products that I have really liked, I do like their eyebrow products, and I actually put these on today, and I do feel like whenever I use their brow products that I do better with them than pretty much any of the brow products that are out there, except for the Jones Road ones. I do like those a lot too. And so the products that they have available that are among my very favorites include the Brow Pop Pencil, which is on sale for $20, and then there is a matching brow gel, and so I have this one in this little size at present, but I think I have another backup one in my stash, and so that one is on sale for $20 also. And I think if I use these two products together that I can do a good job of simulating a natural looking brow without it looking too fake. And so I color in some extra hairs with the pencil, and then I put the brow gel on top to darken the hairs that I do have. And then last year they came out with a line of blush, and I think that these blush are really terrific. And so they originally came out with 4 shades for lighter skin and 4 shades for what I think is darker skin or people that like brighter blush. And then this year they came out with some new shades, and so I do have the 4 lightest shades of these, and so here's a couple of them. This one is called Bliss, and this one is called Dreamland, and I do really like the way that these perform on my skin. These are baked blushes, and I think that of the blushes that are on the market, that these are particularly nice. And in general, I do think that Kosas does well with a lot of powder products, and particularly with setting powder. And so they certainly are very well known for their pressed setting powder, which comes in a lot of natural skin shades. And I have used up an entire one of those, which did take me quite a long time. And I have a new one, and I'm not sure what I did with that one, but I need to go find that. And then I have this one, which is a loose powder, and this is only available in pink and peach and some darker colors, and so they are supposed to be brightening. And I actually do really like the way that this pink one looks on my skin. It doesn't look too pink, and I think that in terms of the performance of the powder, it actually is very similar to the pressed powder. Whether or not they will ever come out with this loose powder in different shades for different skin tones, I don't know. I'm kind of hoping that they do that, but in any case, I really think as loose powders go that this one has been particularly nice. And then the other product that I have that's in my top 50 is their deodorant, and this is called the Chemistry Deodorant, and this is on sale for $14.40. And so it does have AHAs in it, it has mandelic acid type products in it, and so therefore it does not keep you from sweating, but it does naturally make the odor go away without it having any kind of scent of its own in it. And I feel like this has worked really, really well for me. And then of the other products that they have, I do really like both their regular lipsticks and their lip balm type lipsticks, but they do have a bit of vanillin in them, and so that makes me a little disinclined to use them all the time because I really prefer an unscented lipstick. But I think that those are actually really nice products too, and they do not have any kind of microplastics in them, and so I do think that that is a big bonus. And then Lolavie is a hair care brand that is associated with Jennifer Aniston, and it does have fragrance in it, but it is an all-natural fragrance, and I actually find the fragrance to be really appealing. It's kind of a citrus fragrance with just a tiny little bit of floral in it. And so the thing that they are most known for is this glossing detangler, and I use this very frequently as I get out of the shower just to spray on my hair before I comb it through, and I do think that my hair does like this quite a lot. And then I also use very frequently this Perfecting Leave-In, which is a product that helps my hair to look a little bit less frizzy and a little bit more curly, I would say. And then they more recently came out with shampoo and conditioner, and so I have liked these products very much also, and so I do use these in my rotation in the shower, and I do like both of those. And then this year they came out with actually a whole new line of products, which are called the Peptide Plumping Shampoo and Conditioner and Volume Spray. And I haven't tried those out yet, but I do want to get a sample kit, and that sample kit is not available through Credo. But I do want to get a sample kit of all 3 of those so I can give those a try to see if I like that more or less than the products that I am already trying. And if you are interested in trying the 4 products that I am currently using, then there is a travel kit for all 4 items, and that is regularly priced at $36 for that travel kit. LYS is a brand that I did a video on maybe 6 months or so ago when I talked about affordable beauty products, and so I did put a lot of effort into trying out all of their products, and I do think that they make a lot of products that are pretty good quality, and that are reasonably priced. The product that I like the most actually is their matte lipstick, which is called Speak Love, and so I do actually use that one fairly frequently. And then there are just an awful lot of other products, and so if you're interested in products that are not too expensive and that are even less expensive during this sale, that are more like drugstore type prices, then I think that this would be a good time to look at that line. Now, Mob Beauty is one of my very favorite companies, and this company was founded by Vic Casale, who was the original formulator for MAC Cosmetics and who created all the formulas that helped it to become famous. And the original founder of MAC Cosmetics is named Frank Toscan, and he is an investor in this company. And so I do feel like this is a company that has an awfully lot of expertise behind it. And so there are a number of products that they have really impressed me with. And so first of all, we'll talk about the eyeshadows. And so the powder eyeshadows are available individually for $14.40 during this sale. And so if you want to, you can buy a little palette and you can put them together. And so for instance, this palette has just 2 shadows in it, but you can get a larger palette, and or you can get one that's quite large. And so this formula for the matte eyeshadows and the shimmer eyeshadows, I think it is really, really nice. And there are some palettes that are pre-made that are available during the sale. And so there is one that is called the Twilight Tone Smoke and Shimmer, and then there's one that's called Cool Neutrals and one that's called Warm Neutrals. And the price during the sale would be $41.60, which is about $10 per eyeshadow. And I think that these eyeshadows are such good quality that that is a really good deal. So I think that those might be good things to pick up, especially if you've never tried Mob Beauty eyeshadows before. And then they also have a formula in the eyeshadows that is a cream shadow, and I actually really, really like those cream shadows. And I think especially on my dry eyelids that they work really well, and they're a product that I can just put on really quickly with my fingers. And so here's a couple of the cream eyeshadows that are available in the shimmer shades, and then there's a whole bunch of them that are in matte shades. And I did do a whole video on those cream eyeshadows at one point, and so you might look for that. And another product from Mob Beauty that is among my top 50 on Credo is the Blurring Ceramide Cream Foundation, and this is on sale for $20.80 each. And so this seems like it is more like a concealer, and that is more how I use it most of the time, but I do think that it is possible also to take this concealer type of a product and to mix it with maybe a drop of oil, and that it does turn out to be a fairly nice foundation that I can use more widely on my face as well. And I do think the colors in this particular line are very nice. Vic Casale is the person who helped Crayola to come up with their Skin Tones Colors of the World line, and I think that the particular shades that he has developed are quite good in terms of making sure that people do have a good match for them. And then I also am a really big fan of their powder formula. Now, I'm not that big of a fan of this packaging. It's made out of cardboard, and it is compostable. And so when I open it up, it does tend to be a little bit of a mess in here, and a lot of times there's like a puff powder that comes all over the place. But of course, it is talc-free powder, and I think that this powder formula is really terrific. And it comes in a translucent color, and it comes in a pink color that I especially like, and then it comes in a few darker colors as well. And as powder formulas go, I think this one is really, really terrific. And I also really like their highlight balms, and so these remind me a little bit of the Jones Road Miracle Balms, except they do not have any kind of a scent in them, and so they are not irritating for my skin. And I do think that these colors are really pretty on my skin, and I don't use as much of them as some people use of that Miracle Balm, but I do think that this works really well on my own skin. And I'll just put a little bit of this on now so that you can see what this looks like. But I think in terms of when my skin is too dry, and especially during the winter, if I just put a little bit of this on top of whatever other kind of makeup I am wearing, I do think it adds a little bit of freshness to my face that I think is really appealing and actually good for my skin. And then another product from them that I do really like is their Cream Clay Blush. And for these, I think that the really unusual thing about these is that they are a cream blush, but they do stay on the skin really, really well. And they don't tend to disappear. I think it's because they do have that clay in them. It used to be that I was a big fan of the Honest Beauty cream blushes, which is what Meghan Markle wore on her wedding day. And those have all been discontinued. But I think that these are a very good substitute for those, and maybe even a bit better. And I do think that these colors are really gorgeous. So this is 4 of the colors that I have picked up. And I think that in general, that Vic Casale is very, very good at coming up with good colors. And that is one really big reason to be looking at this line. And then this year they did come out with a couple of new products. So one is called Blot Balm, and I think that is more for people with oily skin. And so I have tried that, and I was hoping that it might work well for me over the summer, and I actually think that it was kind of nice on my skin. I don't really need to have things that are making my skin less oily though, but I did put a little bit of it on my nose and things like that. And I think that if you do have oily skin, that would actually be a really good product to take a look at. And then they have some new shimmer lipsticks, and I was a little bit skeptical about this because I'm not sure that I've done all that well with the lipstick formula in general from Beauty. I think it's okay, but it may be their weakest product. It doesn't have any kind of microplastics or silicones in it, and so I think it's a little bit hard to make a really, really high-performing lipstick without any of those ingredients in it. But I did pick up one of these new shimmer lipsticks, and this is in a shade that is called Magnolia Street, I think. And I put this on in my last video, and this was the one on the new products, and I just put it on over a lip pencil. And I feel like it held up really, really well when I was shooting that video, even though I was shooting it for like hours. I only really put on the lipstick like one more time. And so I think that this performs a bit better than you might think, and I do think it's kind of pretty. And then there are a number of other products that they also sell that I have also liked, and I have done some videos in the past where I've talked about all of their products, and I could talk about them all day. And so I do suggest that if you are interested in this, I've done a number of videos on Ma Beauty, and so you might want to take a look at those. In terms of body care products, I would still say that Necessaire is really my favorite company, and I did do a full video on them at one point. And so the products that I use and that I will be using as winter comes along a lot, first of all, they make a very good body lotion, and I have done really well with this, and this is on sale in the regular price during the sale for $24 for this size, I think. And then I also really like their body serum, and so what I tend to do is just mix this with the body lotion, and I often put a little bit of extra oil in it as well. And so this is on sale for $41.60, and it is a really large container of it, and it does have an awfully lot of hyaluronic acid type of ingredients in it that I think that my body does really, really well with in the winter months especially. And then they have a hand cream, and ever since Honest Beauty has stopped selling hand creams, I've had to look for something else. And the one that I think I have really been liking a lot is this one from Necessaire, and I actually just used up this much of it. There's only a tiny little bit of this left in here, and so I am interested in getting some more of this. And then there is a deodorant, and I have used up a number of containers of that deodorant, and I do think it's very similar to the Kosas deodorant in that it has the mandelic acid in it, and that it does not keep me from sweating, and it doesn't have a fragrance in it, but I do think it works really well for me. And then there is a new body cream. I think that they used to have a body cream, but this may be a different formula. And it is regularly available for $48. And so I would be interested possibly in picking that up and see how it differs from the body lotion. But a lot of these products do have peptides in them, and so I do think that the effects on my skin may be cumulative and that they may really be helping my skin to survive better over the winter, not just in terms of immediate effects, but over time. One Love Organics makes a product that is called Botanical Bee Enzyme Cleansing Oil and Makeup Remover that I thought I would mention really fast. And I have used up a whole bottle of that on my face, and I think it was okay. It does have a pineapple scent in it, and so I don't think that, again, my skin really likes fragrance ingredients, and so I haven't been using that on my face again, but I do have a full bottle of that, and I've been using that to take off swatches on my arms. And I think that it works really, really well to take off makeup, and I do think that that pineapple scent is amazing. I do really enjoy the scent of it, and I think that if you can tolerate any kind of scent at all on your skin, that might be really enjoyable in terms of a facial makeup remover. And newly, they are released a product that is called Skin Dew Coconut Water Cream for $59 at the regular price, and I might be interested in picking that one up. And now we are at one of my very favorite brands of all, and this is a skincare brand that is called the Outset, and this is associated with Scarlett Johansson. And so I will start out by talking about a kit that is available, and it has 4 different lip glosses in it. And so this is called the Lip Oasis Complete Collection, and it is on sale at Credo for $70.40 for all 4 of these, and the value price is supposed to be $112. And so I do have all 4 of these lip glosses in my collection, and I actually talked about them and demonstrated them all on a video that was done a while back. I think that was the one that I talked about the Jones Road foundation. And so today I actually put on this color over a lipstick that is a similar color from Rituel de Fille, and so I'll put on a little bit more of this gloss right now. And I think that these taste really good. They do have a flavor in them, but I think that the flavor is natural and that it does taste good to me, and I do think that these look pretty good on my lips as well. And so the shades that they have here, there's one that's more of a beigey pink type of a shade. There's one that is a kind of a bright purpley pink type of a shade, and then there's this one, which is the orangish type of a shade, and then there's one that's clear. And then other products that are among my very favorites at Credo are their regular skincare products. So this is a Nourishing Squalane Daily Moisturizer. So this I use very frequently during the day. And I also have found that regardless of what kind of foundation I am using, if I am finding that the foundation is a little bit too thick for me, that I can thin it down a little bit with this, and that it has worked really, really well with a really wide variety of different kinds of foundations. And so this is a product that I've gotten a lot of use out of. And then they also have a serum, and this is called the Firming Vegan Collagen Prep Serum, and I have found that this has been very nice on my skin as well. And in terms of their cleanser is a micellar cleanser that's called Gentle Micellar Antioxidant Cleanser. And so I use this a lot in the summertime months, and I've found that this one works really well for me also. So I do like the Ilia one, but I think that this one I like even more. And I have used up pretty much this whole bottle over the summer, and so I'm going to be moving more into cream cleansers as we move more into winter, but I do feel like this one has worked really, really well for me, especially when I feel like my face is kind of sweaty and greasy at the end of the day. And then there is a night cream, and the night cream was reformulated. So in the past, when it was first introduced, it had a peptide in it that had apparently traces of a Teflon in it, Teflon type of an ingredient in it. And so they did reformulate this one, and I did try the previous one, and I thought it was okay, but I didn't really feel inclined to buy it. But now they have this new version of it, and this one has bakuchiol, niacinamide, hyalurosate, which is a natural form of hyaluronic acid, and evening primrose in it, and then a few other skincare type ingredients in it. And I really, really like this one. And what it has really been reminding me of is another product that is more expensive that is from Beauty Counter. That is their Beauty Counter Tripeptide Supreme Cream. I think they're now just called Counter, and they are selling that again, but this one is less expensive, and I think that I may be liking it just as much. I'm not sure it has peptides in it now, but I think that as a wintertime cream goes, that I can use when my skin gets really, really dry and dehydrated over the wintertime months at night. I think that this one is going to turn out to be really, really good, and so I'm kind of excited about it, and I think that this is a reasonable price for a product that is of this quality. And it does have a slight smell from the bakuchiol, and none of these Outset products that I've been talking about have had any kind of fragrance in them, and so that is one thing that I do really, really like about this line. But in general, this all is supposed to be for people with really sensitive skin, and that when your skin gets really messed up and you've tried too many makeup products or skincare products that have messed it up, that this is something that you can rely on for your skin to go back into balance. And I do think that it has served that purpose for me very well as I've tried out a variety of different products for this channel. And then another product that I would definitely include in the top 50 is this sunscreen from the Outset, and this is called Hydra Sheer, and it is SPF 30, and I think that this actually performs really well underneath makeup and on its own, and it is not tinted, but it really does disappear into my skin really easily. I do think it has one of those new forms of zinc that is not nano, but that does look really, really good on my skin. And so I did do a sunscreen video earlier this summer, and so I talked about this one and a lot of other sunscreens, but I would say that of all the sunscreens out there, this one very well might be my very favorite. And then a couple of other products that I had on my bathroom counter that I want to mention, even though I'm not sure that I can include all of these in the top 50. The Outset Exfoliating Caffeine Micro Polish. As physical exfoliants go, I do really, really like this one. I do think that it is fairly gentle on my skin. The particles that are in here are spherical shaped, and so they are not too rough. And I do use this occasionally on my face, and I mostly use it on my hands during the winter. And then they also have an oil, and this is called the Ultralight Moisture Boosting Oil, and I feel like this oil has worked well for me because it's not really greasy, and so it has a lot of synthetic type oils in it, and so it does absorb into my skin really easily, and when I mix it with other things, I don't feel like it's putting a lot of grease on my skin, and so it is performing quite well for me. And they do have one more kit, and the kit is the same price. It is $70.40, and what you get in that kit is the untinted lip balm, and you get the prep serum that I just talked about, and then also a product that is called Rescue Treatment, which is a balm product. And Scarlett Johansson said that when she was filming Jurassic Park that all the people in the movie were using that every time they got scratched up. And this one does have a little bit of a scent in it, and so I'm not sure I like that one all that much even on my skin on my body, but it is a product that I do like the texture of it an awfully lot. Now, Rituel de Fille is an older company, and it was founded by three sisters, and these are all artists, and so they focused an awfully lot on the colors, and it is natural colors and without any kind of synthetic colors in it, and I think that the colors are really, really gorgeous. More recently, they have moved into products that are less natural and that are formulas that I consider to be frankly experimental, and I have found that a number of those have been irritating to my skin, and so I have not been very excited about that particular development at this company, but I do think that they probably needed to make some changes of some kind, and some people have liked, for instance, their foundation and their concealer, even though it hasn't worked for me. And so the products that I liked for them are the older ones, and these tend to be scented pretty strongly with lavender, which my skin actually does not seem to object to, and I don't mind the smell of those, but if you don't like lavender, then this may not be a good line for you. But they have a bunch of different products, so one product that I put on my lips today, underneath that lip balm, is one of their lip sheers. And so I have this in a color that is called Bittersweet that I thought would be a nice orangey type color to go with my sweater. And in general, these are just little tiny lipsticks, and they are available during this sale for $20. They're called Enchanted Lip Sheers. And I think they're actually really nice. And every time I get these out, I find that I do actually really like wearing them. And some of the shades are available on Credo, and then they have a lot of special shades that are available on their website. I also really, really like their eyeshadows, and I do feel like I should wear these more often because I do feel like they look really, really good every time I put them on. And so these are called the Ash and Ember Eye Soots. And so they come in little pots like this, and they did reformulate the jars, and so they have a wider hole in them so you can put them on more easily with your finger, or they sell this brush, and I would highly recommend this brush, which is not very expensive, because I do think that it makes putting on this eyeshadow to be really, really easy. And so I can just take a little bit of this product and put it on my eyes, and I actually did that today with one of the more popular shades from that product. And I do always like the way that this looks on my eyes, and that I think it's a very gentle product that I think is one that I can use without putting any kind of a base down, and I don't feel like any of the shades that I have used has been irritating, and I do think that as a one and done type of eyeshadow that this is really top of the heap. And then they have 3 different lines of products that all come in these little pots, and I would say that all 3 of those would be among my top 50 products. And so one of them is their highlighters, and so these are called the Rare Light Cream Highlighters, and they have a little bit of a shift in them, but I don't feel like any of these are so dramatic that I can't wear them, but they're just a little bit interesting. And so, for instance, this one is called Ghost Light, and so I'll just put a little bit of this one on. And then second, there is a line of blush, and these are called the Inner Glow Cream Pigments, and so they come in some really kind of interesting shades. So this one is, for instance, called Delirium, and I think that these are really pretty blushes that I have gotten some good use out of, and when I do put them on, I do feel like they go on nicely, and even when they look like they are really, really pigmented, they do blend down pretty easily, but I do feel like they stay on my cheeks and continue to give me some good color for an extended period of time. And so these are more like matte cream blushes. And then they have another line that are much more like a glossy type of a finish. And so these are more, again, like the Jones Road Miracle Balm type of a thing, except that they are very highly pigmented. And so, for instance, this color is called Snapdragon. And I think that these are quite nice for both the cheeks and the lips. And I can just put on a little bit of this, and it does give my cheeks just a little bit of a shine to them, and a little bit of a bright color. And again, these are tend to be really good colors. And what I will say about these is that even though these are really old products, in some cases that I've had in my collection for a couple of years, and even though I've been using my fingers in them, I feel like they all smell fine to me. They still have that lavender smell to them, and so that is another plus from this particular line. And they have a few other products that I have liked as well. So I think that if you like an eyeliner that you put on with a brush, that their Black Orb eyeliners are very nice. And they do come in some different colors now. It's not just in black. And the Creature of Light Serum Illuminator, I think that that one has been okay for me. And as liquid highlighters go, I think that that one is not too bad. And the Levitation Lash Mascara, that one is a bit like a paste, and so it is a little bit messy to work with, but I think that as mascaras go, it's not a bad mascara either. Now, another brand that we could be here all day talking about is RMS, and I will just talk about this briefly because in actuality, if you want to get 20% off RMS, then you can really do this at any point if you order from their website, because I have a code for them, and that is Lisa P20, all one word. And so therefore, I am always happy to talk about this brand, and so I will do that briefly now, but I think that there may be some better sales coming up over the holidays that you can get even better prices from RMS. And so the products from RMS that are my favorites, first of all, I think that these bronzers and blushes, and there's one highlighter that are in the powder form. They're not really powder, they're actually like a baked gel, and these have performed super well, and I think that there are many people that just love these, and I do really just love them also. And so, for instance, this is the shade that is called Crystal Slipper, which is a blush shade and that is very popular, but I think also their bronzers are very nice, and in general this is such a beautiful formula with just a little bit of a shimmer in it that I can't say enough good things about that. And then an older product from them are their cream products, and so for instance this is one of their cream blushes in the new shade that is called Crystal Slipper, and this is a cream highlighter that also has that glassy type of a look to it in the shade called Crystal Slipper. And there's also a bronzer that is called the Buriti bronzer that I have really liked as well, and that is kind of the same shade as the powder bronzer shade that is called Beach Walk Betty. And I am also a really big fan of their lip oils, and I picked up almost all of the shades in this. And so again, this is the new Crystal Slipper shade, and this year they have a new little mini kit, and so this has 3 mini versions of these lip products. And so one of these is red, one of those is clear, and one of those is a color changing pink, and so obviously it is supposed to be for the Christmas season. And so I'm going to be doing a video pretty soon coming up where I will try on these shades, but in any case I always am very excited to see any kind of new products from RMS in this lip oil product, because I think that it's been really good for my lips. They taste good to me, they have natural vanillin in them, which I think is very nice, and in general I just think that these have been really good for my lips. And as lip oil or lip gloss type products go, I think this one may be one of my very favorites at this point, or maybe actually my very favorite. And then last year they came out with a new powder, and so this is a loose powder, and this is designed to provide some blotting of oil, but it's not a heavy blotting of oil powder. And at first I wasn't sure that I was really crazy about it, but then I realized that you really need to put this powder on with this powder puff that's in here, and that if you do that, I think that this powder performs really well. And so I have been getting a lot more use out of it after I realized that I need to put it on with that powder puff. Just a couple of months ago, RMS released the Revitalize Hydra Concealer, and I think that this is very similar to the Cerakreel Face Flex Concealer, and it is now tied with that one as my favorite liquid concealer, and it's available during the sale for $28. And then also among my very favorites are these lipsticks from RMS, which are called the Legendary Lipsticks. And so I actually have a whole bunch of these. These are ones that I just kind of keep out. And then there are some brighter shades that I also really like. And my feeling about these lipsticks is that they're very different than most lipsticks that are out there. They are the kind of lipsticks that you have to click up and that you can't click back down because they are very soft. But I think that they look really good on my lips, and if they wear off, then there's a nice pretty stain that is designed to keep your lips looking nice. And they do have some herbs in them, but they don't have any kind of vanilla or any kind of other ingredients in them that I find to be problematic. And the thing about these lipsticks, I think, is that they don't have any kind of plastics or silicones in them, and so therefore they don't have any microplastics. And so of the lipsticks that don't have the microplastics in them that I feel comfortable wearing, whenever I want to put more lipstick on my lips, I really think these are performing really well, and that I do feel good about using them. And then one more product from RMS that I really like are their tinted daily lip balms. So these actually come in various shades, and one of them is actually a clear shade, which I think is a very nice product to put down underneath a matte lipstick or just on its own. And then they do come in a bunch of different colors, and so some of them are bright, like this one is red, and then some of them are more on the pink side. And those are products that I've been using for a number of years now, and I think that as daily lip balms that I wear just when I'm not going anywhere, just to look kind of pleasant, I think that those are actually really, really nice, and they taste good to me. And some of these I have had for maybe 4 years, and they haven't gone bad on me, so I do think that they last for quite a long time, and they do feel good on my lips, and I think that they have been highly overlooked by people that are looking for good lip balms. And they don't have any flavor in them, but they taste really good. And then the other product from them that I really, really like is their Scarlet Moon fragrance, and this is regularly priced at $150, so it would be $120 if you have 20% off. And I am really only liking natural fragrances. This is from a perfume house that is called Heretic, and I do think that this is really the only fragrance that I feel like I really enjoy wearing, and certainly on a regular basis. And so I would suggest that if you are interested in this, that you first get a sample from the RMS website. But in general, I am still really liking that fragrance, and I would definitely recommend it to people that do want something that is kind of natural smelling and that is kind of modern, but that doesn't have any kind of synthetic fragrance ingredients in it. Another sunscreen that I really like is from St. Jane, and this is called Luxury Sun Ritual Pore Smoothing SPF 30, and this one obviously does not have any kind of sunscreen boosters or chemical sunscreens in it, and I have really, really liked this. And what I would say about this is that this is particularly good if you want to wear a sunscreen under makeup. I have found that to be the case myself, and I have heard other people suggest that this is a particularly good sunscreen for that purpose, and so I would think that this one could be one to give a try. And the price during the sale is $30.40, and so I would put this one in my top 50 Credo products. Now, a line of makeup from Credo that I have actually not tried at all is Soshe, and I have heard some good things about some of the Soshe products from some other people, and so I do want to take a good hard look at all of the products that they are offering to see if there's anything that I might be interested in. And then another brand that I am interested in trying out is Sweed, and Credo does not have all of the Sweed products. It seems that they only have their eye products. I'm not sure why that would be, but they have the mascara, and they have a eye pencil, and they have an eyeliner. And so in general, I want to buy some Sweed products before the end of the year and then do a video on them, because a lot of people do seem to like those products in terms of there being sort of a luxury experience for less money. Tower 28 is a brand that is fairly reasonable prices, and considering that, I do think that a lot of their products are pretty good quality. And so of the products that they offer, the ones that I think that I would put in my top 50 products at Credo, first of all, the Daily Rescue Facial Spray, which is hypochlorous acid. And that is a product that I use when my skin goes out of balance. And so I think that what it is doing is helping the microbiome of my face to get back into balance. And I do think that that has been very nice. And I don't think it's really any different than any other kind of hypochlorous acid, but it is convenient for me to purchase it through Tower 28, and I don't think it's all that expensive that I'm not willing to buy it, and it does come in these nice little spray bottles. And so the 4-ounce size on sale at the Sephora sale is $22.40. And then I also like their mascara, and I especially like their mascara now that it is available in a brown shade. And so this is called the Make Waves Mascara, and it performs, in my opinion, kind of like a tubing mascara, and but it does give a little bit more of a heavier lash fairly easily than a lot of tubing mascaras do, and so I do really like the way that that performs on my eyes. Now, it was the case at one point that I had been using a mascara like that for a little less than 6 months, and I do feel like that gave me an eye infection, so I don't think there's a lot of preservatives in this mascara, and so in general for mascaras I'm trying to only use them for a couple of months and then to stop using them because I really don't want to get any more eye infections. But I don't think that's probably the case with just this Tower 28 mascara, and I do think that the Tower 28 mascara was not irritating for my eyes at all and performed really well for me, and that is why I used it so often that particular time. And so there are a couple of sets that Tower 28 is offering, and Tower 28 actually did send me these sets, and so I am looking forward to giving them a try. So the first set is called the SOS Minis kit, and so this one has the small version of the hypochlorous acid in it, and it also has a small amount of their Daily Barrier Recovery Cream in it. So I think that's a nice little cream. I think it's a little bit light for me. In general, I think the Tower 28 is more designed for people that are younger than I am and that do not have skin that is as dry as mine. But I didn't have any problems with that Barrier Recovery Cream, and I do think it performed well for me. And then also in this kit there is a product that is called the Mini SOS Daily Balancing Gel Cleanser. And so I haven't tried that cleanser yet, and I am curious about it, and so I'm looking forward to giving this a try and then reporting back to you on how I do with that particular cleanser. And so during the Credo sale, that set would be available for $19.20 for those 3 items. And then they also have a mascara kit, and in this mascara kit they have one of their black mascaras and one of their brown mascaras, and both of these are full size, and I think that is really terrific, and I have really liked that brown mascara very much, so I think it's worth trying it just for that. And the price for the sale would be $23.20 for both of these full-size mascaras, and the regular price for these would be $20 each, and so I think that's a reasonably good deal also. And then another kit that they sent me that is for sale during the Credo sale is the Lil Softies 2.0 set, and so this is 4 of their little lip balms. And so these are flavored with food-grade flavors. I don't know that they're natural, but I have tried out a number of these, and a lot of them do just taste like vanillin. And I have found that they have been okay for me. I've been able to use them. They may not be my favorite flavor, but I'm not absolutely unable to use any of these, and I am really picky with regard to flavors. And so these 4 would be on sale for $16. And they do have one more kit, and this one is called the Poppy Fizz and Frost Duo, and it is usually $26, but during the sale it would be $20.80. And this includes a red powder blush in it, and so some people do like red blush, and so this could be one to pick up, and it is called Cranberry Fizz. And then there's also one of their regular lip glosses in it, which is a different formula than the one that I just showed you, and I am not all that crazy about that particular lip gloss. I don't think it's all that moisturizing. It's more shiny. And in any case, I think that if you're looking for a red blush that is cranberry shade, that could be a good kit to pick up, because I don't think that particular shade is in their regular line. They do, however, have this particular red blush, which is one of their cream blushes, and this is called Finest Hour, and I do kind of like this as a red blush to use on occasion, because I am kind of a fan of red blushes sometimes. And so a couple of products that they brought out this year. The first one is a line of powder blush, and so I originally got them to send me this in a shade that is called Long Beach Iced Tea, and actually that did crumble in my makeup bag, and I didn't drop it or anything, and so I think that this is kind of a fragile formula, and so I would suggest babying it a little bit. And then I actually went and bought this one, and so now I am using it again, and I do like it. It's supposed to be setting, and I think that's a little bit strange to have a product on your cheeks that is oil absorbing, because that is sort of the last place that I need to be oil absorbing is on my cheeks. But again, I think this line is more meant for people that are younger than I am. And then another new product from them are these little eyeshadows. And so this is the regular size, and the regular price is $20, so this would be $16 during the sale. And so I picked up one shade of this, and I have used it a few times, and I think it looks nice on my eyes. It is not the kind of eyeshadow that you put on and then it lasts forever until you take it off with an oil makeup remover. I think that this is one that is a little bit more on the less long-lasting side, and some people have said that they thought that this was kids makeup because it is so small and because it's not staying in place for as long as some people would like, and I do think it's kind of fun. So I could see people that are fairly young having a good time with this maybe, and I think it's a product that I've gotten a little bit of use out of anyway. True Botanicals is at Credo, and if you want a good sale price on True Botanicals, this could be a good time to get it. I have tried an awfully lot of True Botanicals products because at one point I was determined that I was not going to give up on the idea of having scent in my skincare, and I feel like every single product from them, they do have very high quality oils in them. I think that they would be fine for me if they didn't have the fragrance in them. But really almost everything from them is scented, and I think that really everything from them is just a little bit over tolerance in terms of what my skin does ideally with. But I do think that is a very high quality line, and being able to get it at 20% off is a good price. And then finally is one more company that I like an awfully lot, and that is Westman Atelier. And I feel like Westman Atelier had a really exceptional year this year in that they came out with several different new products, and all three of these new products have been really terrific for me, and so I am really happy about that. And so the first one is their liquid bronzer, and I think that of all the products that I've tried that are liquid bronzers, I think that this one is really, really nice. I also do like the Jones Road one, but I think I may like this one a little bit better. And so the price of this during the sale is $46.50. And the thing to know about this is that it does have a fairly short usage life on it, which is 6 months. But so far this has been holding up fine for me, even though it has been more than 6 months. But I think that this is just a lovely product. It gives just a little bit of a bronzing look, but the lightest shade is a little bit on the pinky side, and so I think that that is a very good color for those of us who do have really light skin. And I really like the way that this product performs. And then second, they brought out some powder blush duos, and so some of these have 2 shades of blush in them, and then others have 1 shade of blush and 1 shade of contour. And so the one that I picked up is called Coquette, and then the other shade in this one is Mimi, and I think that these are really lovely shades for me, and I have really enjoyed this. There's another one that is 2 shades of blush, and both of those are kind of on the brownie side, and I do really like that one quite a lot, and so I am really tempted to pick that one up during one of these sales. These are priced at $75, which is quite a lot of money. But I think that if I can get this for $60, that's quite a bit less, and it is really tempting because I do like this blush formula, and I do think that these colors are really nice. And then the third product that they brought out this year that I have really liked are their new lip liners. And so these are designed to help you to draw a lip that is a little bit larger than your regular lip. They are the color of lips. And so I picked up a couple of different shades in this. I picked up one that is called Petal and one that is called Biscuit. And I really like these products. I think that they do a really good job for overlining because they are a little bit on the sticky side and a little bit gummy. And so I do think that they provide a really nice base for putting lipstick over them. And they taste good to me, and they feel good to me, and they haven't been irritating, and they don't have any cottonseed oil in them. And overall, I feel like there have been a lot of companies that have released lip liners similar to these over the past couple of years, and I think that this one may be my favorite at this point. And then I also like the Lit Up Highlight Sticks, and so this is again one of those products that has a bit of a glassiness to it, and so when you put it on your skin it makes it look like it has some moisture in it, and it is a little bit again like that Jones Road Miracle Balm look, except that this does not have any scent in it, and it comes in this streamlined little container. And so I'm not using a lot of this product, but I do think that it makes a big difference in terms of how I look. And they have come out with a number of new shades of this just this year, and that has made me really kind of happy also. So some of those shades are only available on the Westman Atelier website, and then a few of the shades are available on the Credo website. And so I do think that I have all of the shades of these, and I actually like all of them. I think that they are all just lovely. And then, of course, I am also a big fan of their blush sticks. These are actually my favorite cream blush, I think. And so I have a whole bunch of different shades. I actually have all the different shades I think that they have ever released in this. And these are blushes that I really do enjoy and that I use on a regular basis just when I am planning to put on blush for no reason rather than trying something new out. And so I do feel really, really enthusiastic about these. And these are on the sale. Both these and the highlighter sticks are both priced at $38.40. And so one good thing about Westman Atelier is that they have not raised their prices recently. And so although these prices did seem to be really expensive to me in the past, they are starting to seem a little bit less expensive now because everything else has gone up in price a lot. And then I also really like their I Want You mascara. And so this was released last year maybe or the year before, and so it is a little bit of a pricey mascara, but again, if you can get it on sale, then that does make a big difference. And this is available in a brown shade as well as a black shade, and I do really, really like that brown shade. And the price during the sale is $36, and so although that is pretty expensive, I do think this is a really extraordinary mascara. It is basically like a tubing mascara, but I feel like it performs super well for me. And so another product that I would put in my top 50 is the Squeaky Clean lip balms, and these are priced during the sale at $30.40. And I think that these lip balms are really great, and they have held up really, really well for me. And even though I've had some of these for a few years, I have not been having any problems using them. And I think that these are things that really taste really good to me, and I think that they look very nice on my lips. And so, especially of liquid lip balms, this is another one of my very favorites. And then of the rest of the products that Westman Atelier offers, the ones that I still use and that I still like are the super loaded tinted highlighters in the compact form. And so these are things that Gucci Westman describes as being like a closer, and that she puts on at the end of the look to provide just a little bit of a really mild shimmer. And I do like these, and I have all 4 different shades of these. There may be one more that I don't have, which is a bright pink color, but I do really like these, and they are a little bit on the expensive side, but again, this is a good time to buy them if you like them. I also like the Westman Atelier foundation stick, which is available during the sale for $54.40. And I do think that this is a nice formula, and it also has held up well for me over time. The one that I bought 4 years ago still seems fine to me. The only issue with it is that there are only 20 shades, and I don't feel like any of their shades is an exact match for my skin, but I am just using it on a spot basis, and so I've been able to make it work just by blending it in. And then finally, I haven't liked their lipsticks because those do have a kind of a chocolatey flavor to them that I think is from the ethyl vanillin. And I don't find that particular scent to be appealing, but some people do really like it or they don't mind it. And so that's just an individual quirk for me. But I wouldn't buy them, any more of them for that reason. And I found them to be a little bit dry personally, but mostly I didn't like the smell and the taste of them. I do like these lipsticks that come in a compact that are called Lip Suede. And so this is the one that is the nude version, and then there's also one that has some bright reds in it. And I have really, really liked this one, actually. And I have a little lip brush from Westman Atelier that I use with this as well. And so this is a product that I don't mind using at all. And if you do like those lipsticks, then they do have 2 kits that are available through Credo that have the mini versions of the lipsticks in them. And so one of those is the Petite Lip Suede Matte Lipstick Trio, so you can get 3 different shades of that for $48 on sale. And then there is also the Petite Petal Edition, which is available for $60. And in that you are getting petite versions in several different lip products that are in their petal shade, which is a dusty rose type of a shade that everyone really likes and that I do think is really pretty. And so the products that are in that are the Petal Lip Pencil, which I purchased and which I do really like, and the Petal Blush Stick, which is certainly a lovely color blush stick, and I think their most popular one, and the Petal Highlight Stick, which I did pick up, and which is a light pink, and which I do really like, and then the Petal Lipstick. So thank you very much for watching all the way to the end of the video. And if there are any products that are for sale at Credo that you have tried that you would like to let me know about, then please let me know about that in the comments section. And in addition, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, then I hope you will go ahead and do that. And if you like the video, then I hope you will hit like, because that helps the algorithm. And I do hope I will see you in my Facebook group, which is called 40 Plus Beauty with Lisa Petrison. And Coco and I do love you very much, and so I hope things are going well for you. Bye-bye.
La